See, I promise you, what is going to be a 40-minute break this time? It was about a 5-10-minute break. So you know what? I think that goes to us at least par for the course on keeping along with our current schedule, at least somewhat closely. But regardless, Team Cartman, Team M3ntal, a best-of-5 series between these two teams. I don't know if 100% this is to make it out of groups, but it's damn near close.
I mean, it has to be, right? I mean, depending on how things have all panned out, I have not really been keeping too much of a close eye as far as the group standings are concerned, but nonetheless, some familiar faces, especially if you've been around since the old college god days, ever since World War II, BO4. Oh boy, these two teams are definitely a blast from the past, let's put it that way.
Yeah, all of the teams here, or at least players here, have been around for quite some time, predating my entrance into the college COD scene, and I believe yours as well, some of them at least, which is kind of cool for anybody who has actually been around the scene for as long as they have. To kind of, be able to take a look into the past. But each of these teams was able to take down Team Syndicate. Problem is, only one team can stand at the top of Group D and claim the D for themselves. Team Cartman coming into this with quite a sporty roster, to say the least, but two of which are friends of not only the production staff, but are also on the current staff of the college COD operations. Take a look at the roster here for Cartman, Stents, Swaj, and Nevermind. If you recognize any of these three from the trio of the Crimson Gaming squad of old, obviously will realize that Swaj is a great teammate of these two beautiful gents. Nevermind joining them. Obviously, Nevermind, one of our good friends here at College COD, has been around for a good amount of time as well. But I think the thing that most people will know him for nowadays is Scuff Gaming.
Yeah, I mean, shout out Season 0 champions, by the way, Georgia Southern University. And the triage of Crimson Gaming. I mean, Cartman, he can make you a banging spreadsheet. He can honestly develop probably an app. He could probably build a rocket ship, honestly. And he's pretty knowledgeable when it comes down to Pokemon. Stents is just one of the most beautiful human beings I think I've ever met in my life. And honestly, I am blushing just thinking about his gorgeous face. This is a roster, honestly, that can get really mixy, and yet, like, you kind of sleep on them for being, like, the quote-unquote old heads. I say that because they're also younger than me, but nonetheless, they can still absolutely deliver the goods, man. They can still shoot back.
Yeah, I think when these guys were competing in the collegiate sphere, at least I was still in second or third year of high school. So, at least to me, they're they're pretty old, but
okay. Thanks, man.
I'm joke. The cool thing is, though, is that we actually personally I got to meet Stents for the first time when we were out in Vegas for Champs. So, it was great being able to see him in person finally. But enough about them. Let's talk about the other team that they're gonna be playing up against. This roster rather for Team M3ntal. Fun tidbit of information here. Thank you for Son of Paint for being able to bring us this incredible information. All four of these guys on Team M3ntal actually currently compete in HCS Opens together. So that's pretty dope. I'm not gonna lie. Being able to not only take your starting roster for Halo, but bringing him over to COD for a little alumni tournament. Everybody also playing in the CCL. Gotta think pretty tippy.
I mean, it's got to be, right? It's also really funny to me, too, because, I mean, you got, Billy M3ntal, he plays for Shopify Rebellion, and then you got, Old Liberty M3ntal as well, playing alongside Sneaky, who, again, I have a lot of fond memories, casting over the armada of Full Sail. Same thing could be said for Versa, from the Fighting Illini. And then specifically for this last guy on the roster, Report from Penn State. Now, Report's a guy that comes to mind when you go back to Penn State University, dating back through all of Modern Warfare 2019, and then also through Cold War as well. They were a force to be reckoned with, and honestly speaking, Report is always a name that comes to mind that really ended up, I wouldn't necessarily say was a cornerstone, but was a catalyst for so many different map wins. So it's very nice. Again, I personally love these alumni tournaments, is being able to see some familiar names come back, pick up the sticks, play the current title of Call of Duty as well. Not to mention, I talked about it at the top of the broadcast, and I'll bring it up once again. Last time I casted Papa Stents, as far as a Call of Duty is concerned, he found a 4-man grab slam and then found the 5th kill as well. That was on Arsenal back in BO4. Not going to be able to have that, but hey, maybe he finds a cruise missile and finds a team wipe. I don't know.
That'd be cool.
I'd be up for it.
I think that would be pretty sick. Honestly. But yeah, I'm looking forward to getting to watch Cartman and Sons play specifically. I know biased caster, like actually biased in this situation though.
Hard not to be.
Yeah, because look, as much as like this is still for money. This is also for fun. So as we sit here and we watch everybody kind of play throughout these matches, it's great for us just to kind of be able to sit here, chalk some fun up, laugh a little bit, and just kind of get everybody that has played in the past, get to see them come back and kind of play one, maybe not one last time, as I don't know if there's ever going to be another tournament like this, but at least for now, be able to have like one big hoorah for a lot of these guys. Taking a look at our map set though, starting out on our hard point, we'll go back to Hotel. Who would have guessed? We start out at
I'm so surprised.
Go to Hotel for map number 2, and then we have El Asilo for the control on map 3. At least we are seeing a different map for map 3 this time that we've seen throughout the rest of this series so far, but an MC hardpoint for map 4 and an El Asilo search and destroy for map 5. This is once again just about as Modern Warfare 2 as a map set can get, as we have seen all day. Would love to see an Expo at one point, but
And shout out the old heads of from Team Cartman. Did not want to play on Mercado Hardpoint. They think that 7 hardpoints are too many hardpoints to try to keep track of. I don't blame them at all. M3ntal, obviously, I mean, they got rid of the Expo. The ball was in the court for Team Cartman, whether or not they wanted to play Hotel. And I tipped the pick coming through for the El Asilo control. Rather than a Hotel, I mean, you got to almost feel like that it's not going to necessarily be the brain versus brawn as much as it could be chalked up to be. But I feel like that for Team Cartman, if they're going to take down M3ntal, you do have to kind of outsmart your opponent. And they do have a wonderful 4-player roster to potentially do it. Hotel Hardpoint will be quite telling to be able to see how these two teams do stack up against each other, not only as far as rotations are concerned, but also to speak of about how well the gunnies do look for all 4 of these players. Again, for all of M3ntal, look, Halo is one thing, but you get 2-bolted here in Call of Duty comparatively to where you have to get a 4-shot perfect in HCS and Halo itself. So it's going to be interesting to be able to see how they kind of adapt and kind of go back to their roots, if you will. If it is in their roots to be playing Call of Duty. But it's the last time we ended up seeing him here on their broadcast. They were definitely playing Call of Duty here on College COD. Who would have thought?
Yeah, and the nice thing at least too is for this roster of M3ntal, I would assume most of them are probably playing on controller when it comes to Halo. So the fact that they've been able to keep themselves warmed up on controller is going to definitely pay dividends here. Maybe the aim assist is going to feel maybe just a bit different than Halo, but I don't think that much is going to get lost in translation when you hop over towards Modern Warfare 2. Game pretty much aims for you. But with Team Cartman on the other hand, some of these guys haven't played COD in quite some time, and if they have, it's been far and few between. So not being able to have that concurrent practice on it, whether a controller or just in COD in general, being out of practice for a little bit might steer you in the wrong direction. But they've already taken series off of somebody in their group already, so they're looking to do that once again here. They said they're going to be out by lunch, but they have a best of 5 series to prove that they can make it into the later portion of today, maybe get to winners round 1 of the 8-team bracket, or potentially even make it into Sunday. What a surprise that would be, but what a warm welcome it would be to see that team be able to storm up through the rankings and potentially make their way deeper into this tournament. Regardless, hardpoint map 1, it's going to be Stents and the rest of the crew for Team Cartman inside of the point, and that's right, baby, it's Papa Stent.
That's actually his username. Oh gosh, I love Stents so much. Winner of this series, by the way, makes it a double elimination bracket, keep in mind. So gonna be pretty big. Matt, never mind. Gonna be able to at least find 2. That should open up the hard point quite wonderfully. Not enough to be able to flip the spawns, but nice team shots coming through. It's actually gonna force M3ntal to play pretty honestly. And what a read of the room coming through from Team Cartman. 30 seconds to boot, and they're pressing forward for the spots.
Cartman in the back line. Gunfight against Sneaky. Be the one to watch for here in just a moment. Fortunately, it doesn't get great timing, so it is going to be those red arrows of M3ntal who are wrapped all the way through, set up for P2, and are going to get that initial time. You're going to see Versa towards the middle of the map, potentially taking a gunfight here versus Swash, but as he wins the one-on-one, that's going to allow these blue arrows to start marching their way forward. First 10 seconds fall red, but the next 10 could fall into contention in here. Moment. M3ntal, first challenge around the corner. Swash, trade, 2-2 back and forth. Each team being able to survive for a moment's time, but as Matt is able to pick up a double, now looks for the third as well. Report will drop out of the hill, and Team Cartman will break in.
Gotta be that scuff controller he's playing with for sure. My God. M3ntal for 2, though. 1 off the Semtex will be immediately traded out, and I mean, Sense spawns in, and that's a great spawn to hold for yourself. Everybody going to be spawning around the fire truck in back spa. So 20 seconds left to fight over here, and Team Cartman's actually looking pretty darn good for it. His Swaj is going to be able to find 2 now, up to 6 and 4. And now you got to chalk and rotate if you are Team Mental. Team Cartman with the slight lead.
Swaj. Oh, bad timing there. Thought Report would have pushed out. But for now, it is Mental who are there on the rotations. 4 players all stabbed there. 20-point lead here for Team Cartman. Could get wiped off the board very quickly here, though, if they're not able to make a good headway across the middle of the map. Never mind. Wins a big one-on-one there against Report. So as Mental's going to be the next one up to challenge here outside of the freezer. Gunfight won't be won here by Matt this time through. Contestant now going to be in. 6-point game. Team Cartman on the outside looking in. But as the gunfights continue to fall red here, at least preliminarily, it is going to be Team Mental who continue to hold on. Team Kill could potentially be costly here, but it's going to be Team Cartman on the outside looking through. They're waiting for the reinforcements to get there, but they're going to have to deal with Mental who came back on the respawn.
Ursa now up on 4 in a row. That should all be but chalk here as far as the kitchen hardpoint is concerned. You can see the blue arrows on the mini-map for Team Cartman. They're kind of thinking about where they want to try to set up shop next. Got to be careful through the middle of the map. They're going to leave Cartman just to try to lurk through the cutout. Beats inside the restaurant, but top bedroom is going to be immediately where Sneaky takes control. He's not here alone, by the way. Mental Report all trying to flood through the B control.
Sneaky, long shots. Never mind, will fall. So those red arrows start to make their way back up. They have to turn around and look for Stents in the middle of the map. They'll be able to take care of him swiftly. Spawn's still going to be over back by P2. Team Cartman and those blue arrows on the right side of the mini-map. Going to have to force their hand in towards the hill. They were at 53, about, I don't know, entire hard point ago. They're still going to be at 53 here as Team Mental have started to go on its air. Stents has at least gone ahead, bled things dry for a moment, had a contested in towards the hard point, but the respawn's now going to come back in. It's going to be a split spawn out now, and they need to be careful of their backside because Mental needs to read this very, very quickly. If not, Team Cartman could be inside of P4 very quick.
Yep. Inside of P4 maybe, but inside the blender surely. 3-for-1 trade goes the kill feed. Mental lurking over by couches. Dead Silence will be reset. Now up on a 5 spree. Looking for that illustrious 6 kill versus Papa Stents. Won't let him have it. And not the sexiest KD ratio. It's a pretty good ban. 3 and 11 here for Papa Stents, but it's a big kill to find for yourself because it opens up the middle of the map. It allows for Team Cartman to actually get themselves inside a restaurant and set up shop pretty darn early. But you gotta hold, cannot allow Team Mental to try to break the throw.
Yeah, you're hoping for a big chunk of change here. If you are this Team Cartman roster, but back over towards the jewelry side of things. Mental gonna win the one-on-one versus Swaj. Spawn still close over by the restaurant. But as Mental pops in for a second, and Stents falls. As quickly as Team Cartman were able to find themselves early on rotations here. Those first 15 seconds don't work out in their way, and Team Mental break in.
Dude, Mental is 16 and 6. It is absolutely electric. Later in the corner, over by the host stand, Sneaky's going to be able to take down one. Report also there for the second. This is a big 20 seconds to fight over if you are Team Cartman. Swaj, never mind fully understanding that. Never mind not going to turn to his left. Mental was lurking inside the double arches, and, well, that's going to be the final nail in the coffin. Big gunfight win again for Stents, but it's a consolation kill. Not only are you able to at least find that kill, but nobody's really in a position to try to take down Versa in towards the back. He's already trying to anchor out the spawns for New. And the cross is already being held by Report, trying to press up a little bit further forward. Cartman will find that kill. This is a very realistic to hold, or hill to hold from the front, excuse me. And Team Cartman, well, they absolutely need it.
Mental on the backside staircase. Will they be watching for him? Stents going to be looking towards his right side. Mental shots going to go the long way around him. Not going to be able to walk away with a gunfight win there. However, it still will be blue inside of the hill as Team Cartman continue to hold. First 20 seconds go one way. Team Mental, though, trying to bounce back in what was a very close game early on where Team Cartman had a lead. Now it's Team Mental who have bounced back and basically have eclipsed a 100-point lead on this Team Cartman roster.
Yeah, let's put it this way. Over the past 3 hard points, it has effectively been about 30 to about 140 in favor of Team Mental. That's the lead that Team Cartman did once have when we were going in and around P3. But it has all been dust in the wind so far. So a lot of time, still a lot of COD left to be played here as far as this map number 1 is concerned. But you got to get past what effectively is the raid boss of Mental here at the end of the first set. He is 21 and freaking 8. Everybody positive in one way or another coming through from Team Mental. Team Cartman needs something to rally behind and not allow Team Mental to really just get away with highway robbery. Matt's going to be able to open up for at least 2. P1 was quite good for them in the first set.
Checks out. Sneaky there. Report looking on the opposite end. 190, 197, about to eclipse that 200-point mark is Team Mental. We're going to be looking for one. Double challenge up the staircase. We'll cut him out, snuff him out, and that will give them the P2 spawns over on the right side of the map. It actually should be splits here for a moment's time. But as kills continue to flood red in the middle of the map, that'll be Team M3ntal back inside of P1. On the second set of hills, where Team Cartman really need to replicate that energy and the magic that they had throughout the first set. It's not looking all too great here. P2 break is going to have to be on the marks, and it needs to be quick.
A big heads-up play actually came through from Versa there. Once those wave of gunfights actually came through, the split spawns did occur, as you were talking about there, Alex, but Versa actually made the play to go a little bit further forward, all the way past Chandelier, try to flip the spawns ahead of this very big rotation for P2. This game is just within about 70. Team Cartman, you're still getting those restaurant spawns. Look at the spread here as far as P2 is concerned. I mean, you got to get past so many different angles to even try to sniff an opportunity to try to get inside of this time. 2 quick kills do come through, but not enough to break up the monotony that is the P2 spawns.
Yeah, Nevermind was able to pop a 3-piece the last time. That's how they were able to, how they were able to break in the first time. But the problem is here, Team M3ntal have a much better hold on this hill than they do the last time. It was a pinch that came around through the top portion of the map through jewelry that was allowing them to at least bring some information and a bit of, I guess, I was going to bring a point up and then everybody just decided to fall and now it's a 100-point game and I guess that doesn't really matter anymore.
The spawn's flipped, but I mean, do you even want to be back here at this point in time if you are Team Cartman? And, the answer is absolutely not. Spawns will flip once again, and this is actually a really big moment of opportunity coming through from Team Cartman. They are absolutely reeling. They're down by over 100 points, but better late than never, I suppose. Gotta try to get yourself a full 60 here inside of the kitchen hardpoint. This is a good hardpoint to try to do it at. You just got to be able to try to read where some of these players are located at. Stent's going to get shot in the back. That's going to get called for Nevermind to try to cut through the middle of the map. One split spawn will occur for Stents. That should be the recognition coming through from Team Cartman that you are under threat from the back.
I mean, you need about 2 to 3 full 60s or full hills to go your way.
I believe.
With Team M3ntal only needing 10 seconds, it's going to get a bit stitchy here. Sneaky inside of the front of the hard point. Nevermind will be there for a trade. Takes him out for a moment's notice. Still 30 seconds of right time to be able to find here. But the contest, once again, going to be for Team M3ntal in the back door. Freezer, challenge, gunfight. Nevermind able to win one, but Versa's there for an immediate trade. Papa Stent, using the head glitch to his advantage, will be able to stuck up one. Sneaky the last one here. Can he challenge the 1 versus 2? Answer no. They live to see another hard point. The rotation will be out. Nobody from Team M3ntal wants to challenge the hill over by the kitchen.
You can only give up 10 seconds before this game is over. Got 2 players over here. One is Nevermind. Cartman's already going to lose his life. Now you got to go if you are Stents, but you're going to get lurked on by M3ntal through the double arches. Trades will be here. You got to try to get in, and the kills are still ringing in red.
Wash, front door. Tries to challenge him with a Vaznev. Can't sprint in towards the point. 4 seconds left. Now make it 3. Contestant is going to be in from the left side. Nevermind still has an opportunity to find a few kills and does. Around towards the left. Sneaky doesn't win the 1 versus 1. Swashes in. The spawns are close. Cartman is there.
Gotta hold. Gotta hold. You can only give up 2 seconds. Semtex is coming out from Swash. He's gonna get stunned up. He has to try to play his life over here inside the hard point, though. Nevermind trying to lock things down. 30 seconds left to fight over. Swaj able to at least bounce back for 2. Sneaky answers back with a 2-piece of his own. And gunned from behind by Papa flipping Stents. But it's all just a numbers game. Soon after, Team M3ntal will have that subside in their favor. The leader's advantage just too much to bear, as Team M3ntal will take map number 1.
Well, it got fun. It got a bit frisky, but at the end there, it only could be won by one team, and Team M3ntal, the team that had quite the staunch lead built out for themselves, were able to walk away with it. I will say this, Team Cartman did have a few flashes in the pan there, and might have made a few runs at a couple money hills, but unfortunately, it was the bigger portion of the game, I should say, the greater sphere, that unfortunately wasn't controlled by them. So Team M3ntal will go ahead, open the gates up with a 1-0 lead, but I will say this, you know, for Team Cartman, I think that game played a bit closer than I guess maybe I was anticipating, or maybe even you yourself. I can't really speak for you on your behalf, but at least in my opinion, it played a bit closer than I was expecting.
Yeah, same. You know, like, I love these boys. I really do, man. But, like, you're going up against some young bucks that still compete in an FPS title. I want to make sure that I really specify that, because Cartman still competes, but is not in an FPS anymore. And Stents, Nevermind, Swaj, like, they're all still cracked within their own right at certain points in time. But, I mean, it was just a mental show. I mean, just watch his numbers just constantly grow. And always watch where his arrows are on the mini-map throughout the entirety of this highlight package, because he was just always lurking. He was just always finding these opportunities of success to pinch in from behind. find realistically what felt like some of the freest kills. And even right there, when Swatch was coming up through the P2 back staircase, he was trying to find the trade on a mental. And I mean, there was Sneaky right there, just locking things down over by Pillars, just gunning him with relative ease. It was a team-oriented win coming through from Team Mental, always within an earshot of one another. There's a lot of good arguments coming through from Nevermind. Just finding a lot of good two pieces across the board. 25 kills is tippable out of the young man, but I mean, nonetheless, it just simply was not enough. As Team Mental, what realistically felt like at the end of what, P3 in the first set of hard points, just built their lead. They found that 6th gear and they never relented.
Top leader there for Team Mental, obviously in the name. 30 and 17 at 50 seconds to pair, along with it 22 of those 30 untraded. Unsung hero, though, I think you have to look down to the bottom, though, as well. You know, with another 22 untraded kills at 26, you had Sneaky, minute 10 in the hill as well, but everybody really having solid foundational game across the board for this Team Mental roster. You look to the opposite end, Nevermind. You know, again, you think to that back end of the first P2 where he was able to pop in for that big 3-piece that allowed them to get a good amount of time. That's where we thought Team Cartman was going to start to kind of pull away with this game a bit. And they did for a considerable amount of time until about P3. That's when Team Mental were able to kind of kick it into high gear and kind of start their reign of terror on the rest of the first set of rotations. They never really looked back after that part. We thought maybe the P3 to break a P4 rotation on the second set was going to give Team Cartman another opportunity. But, you know, really nobody else was kind of able to pick things up throughout the rest of the game. And when Team Mental was able to kick it into gear, Team Cartman had no answer, and they were just kind of getting swarmed. And I think that's just going to come down to taking better advantageous positionings around the map, specifically when it comes to the tandem play. It felt like at times Team Cartman had good positioning, but two people would be looking the same way when, you know, they needed to cover different angles off, and just kind of backfired on them. And Team Mental were just able to make them pay for it. Like, it seems like super easy just to like say, but obviously in the heated moment, it's fundamental things that are always going to be more profound, I guess. That's just kind of what felt like the big outlier was, and like the big difference between these two teams was in map one.
Yeah, I mean, the pace wasn't really too far from either of these two teams. Obviously, like the slaying department will be a little bit more favorable as far as Team Mental is concerned. But I mean, the pace was at least being met by Team Cartman. It just mostly came through the manipulation of the map. I mean, that's just COD. That's FPS titles. And again, you know, Team Mental are a 4-player squadron, albeit not inside Call of Duty competing with one another, but even in another title, you expect for their communication to really be pristine. You really do expect them to be able to manipulate the map and just really rely on, for one of Mental, to be able to lurk and really try to slay out through the majority of that map, and that's exactly what did deliver. Now we go over towards Hotel Search and Destroy, and this is where things get interesting. I will say this much, because Team Mental won't really be able to get away just running and gunning, albeit that's what we did get in our first 2 Search and Destroys that we got in between Grandly versus Diff and Sloma versus Fiasco. But this Team Cartman roster, I mean, their brains are massive. And they got to be able to really try to utilize a lot of their understanding of a game mode like Search and Destroy to be able to try to push it to at least a map number 4.
I also feel like...
well, never... You know what? I love to be proved wrong.
That I was adding. Yeah, hold that thought for just a moment. 2 versus 4. First go. Unfortunately, won't really fall to the hands of Cartman. At least right now. Swaj, though, will get one back. Make it a 2v3. Bit more manageable here. Still a lot of time to work with. 55 seconds on the clock. Bomb in the hands of Swaj. Sniper going to be out. Nevermind. Could have gotten picked off there, and will. Headshot comes through clean from Mental. Sniper puts in good work in the first round, and now Swatch looks alive in a 1v3.
I mean, I got to tip it. But Nevermind just to try to repeat that. Knowing damn well that Mental was going to have the scope trained on that desk, but win condition is still in the back pocket of Swatch. All right. Copium. Breathe it in. Got a nade left to play in this round. The biggest issue is he has 20 seconds and so much map to clear. And if you can tell by the canter of my voice, the likelihood of him clutching this round is becoming a little bit slimmer.
And there's the gunfight, and it's won by Team Mental. So there we go. First round in the books. Team Mental. Didn't really think too much about it. It was that early aggression in towards the middle of the map and a nice snipe in towards the backside of the bellhop luggage area. I was able to take 2 off the board, and once you have a 4v2, seldomly do you lose it. Unless your name's Dustin. No, not going there. Nope.
Okay.
Not doing it again. Not doing it to Dougie again. I'm sorry. The joke. Calm down. Calm down, Twitter. Jesus.
Only 1 kill to find for themselves in that previous round. That was Swatch being able to find that kill inside of Couches. Team M3ntal looking to at least keep the pace up. Stuns, nades, Bears beats, Battlestar Galactica. Not going to be able to come up with much of anything. You do have players that push all the way up over by the L-Dash. Versa will be that guy. Rips Dead Silence looking to cause a little bit more of a ruckus up front.
Oh, Stents, are you going to be able to spot him out? Answer, no. You had the first shot there on a sneaky, but Versa's able to slip into the back line. And now with Dead Silence refreshed, pretty much has the pick of the litter of where he wants to try and attack this at next. Swash doesn't get good timing. Now Versa's going to be able to move over towards B. The problem is they don't have bomb picked up. But this could allow M3ntal sit back over by A and maybe play some tomfoolery.
You took the sniper out of play. So that forced Swatch to actually go all the way back over towards the plot and maybe try to pick up that angle. Report is over here. He's looking for it, and he's going to be able to at least find that trade. 2v2. Bomb in the hands of M3ntal. He is nowhere near his teammate at all. And I don't think that Nevermind's going to really expect for one player to be lurking inside a restaurant of all places. Or does he? Low stare tomfoolery. M3ntal will have none of it.
I was going to say, you know, at that point, I would have loved to see the bomb just go back over towards B, but instead they keep, or excuse me, A, but they keep working it over towards B. First one challenges up, the second one's able to snap in. So a good little bait and switch there will get them the second round. But I mean, when you clear out your spawn side and you realize you have everything pretty much going your way, I get the call to want to kind of just stick to your guns and, you know, you have numbers over towards this B site, but like, if they've already got themselves rotated, just pull a double fake and get back over towards A. You have a free plan.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, realistically, you're right.
I mean, it's still worked out for him. So
it's a CCL alumni tournament, the brother. And even in like the regular season for CCL, like, goodbye. We're not seeing much fundamental search and destroy being played out. Just run a gun, fight the kills where you can. Stuns early inside of the double arch. Gonna force Cartman to back down. He's almost expecting somebody to try to push through over by Chandelier. And he'd be right, but Versus not pushing. Not as fast as Cartman would once hope. He's making a ruckus and a half over here. When does Versus strike?
I mean, he's making a ruckus, but I mean, it takes 2 to tango, and right now Versus willing to do the dance with him. Cartman will look back over towards the right side. He's going to get blocked by the iron sights. GG! 8 HP, though, with Swatch in the middle of the map will be backed off. Now, if you're on the defensive side here for Team M3ntal, Bomb hasn't worked its way on to A just yet. A very passive offensive hit here. You can pretty much make this map your own. You now find Nevermind, and well, now you have a sniper and a AR on the back line who are just working to try and find a pick.
M3ntal's waiting for the call. He's just inside of double arches. Where's patience? Be a virtue. Gotta be able to try to find at least one more pick. Sneaky's up top. Oh. Stents had the centering, and if he held it just a little while longer, he probably would be able to get that kill. But now he's one shot. So jump shot. Do it to him.
Peekaboo.
Do it to him. Come on! Oh.
I mean, do it for the content at least, you know? Like,
oh, Stents is all about it, I'm sure.
4 seconds left in the round, and peek the man! I get you're playing fundamental here. You know, you don't want to throw it away, but like, come on, man, just peek him. I don't know.
That's tough. I mean, you really do feel like that round could have been entirely different. Cartman just looked down. I mean, there's so many different gunfights. There's so many different integral moments in Search and Destroy through the year of Modern Warfare 2 where I've just seen so many first bloods happen like that because someone's just laying prone and got the big old chonker that is the TAC 56 in your hand. That's tough. Dead Silence, rip. It's going to be a B hit pretty quickly.
Especially in a game that plays so fast, like slow paced rather, like you have to like just ADS around corners too. And it just rewards people for playing just a touch cheeky. Cartman down below, Versa gonna spot him out. Cartman is able to get away though. Semtech's gonna rain out somehow, is able to survive.
Huh?
Gets into the harborage and safe passage towards top bedroom. But as the bomb goes down over towards B, the offensive hit now on 3 versus 4. Sneaky can have a very difficult gunfight to walk away from. And now it's a 1 versus 3. Report was able to find the first. Snaps back around over towards the opposite side doorway. Tried to play the snake. You're not selling him, buddy. I'm sorry.
Nobody ever will be. He got Draza and Cillian on the same team. Like, God.
Brother.
Next year's going to be...
like...
Oh, jeez.
Dude.
Next year's going to get wild.
Oh,
and Cartman going to be able to...
They couldn't hit Draza anymore, right?
They did join Faith Chain. Team Cartman got to be able to at least take that round. It was a really good collapse, honestly, to come all the way through it. And it's all really thanks to be able to get that information. Albeit, would have really loved to be able to find that kill on that player top balk, but hey, nonetheless, that's good information. You get the first, you swarm around the B-bomb site, you get the retake through the side door, through the back door. And it works out to at least bring this within 2. Now what's the play call? They're going to leave Stents behind. Throw some utility over by A, maybe a little bit of a bait play, and it works out wonderfully. Abi Versa just was not ready for this fast hit over towards B. Swaj eviscerates him.
I mean, Team Cartman haven't played with this pace in any of the rounds so far, so when you think you have a lane open for yourself, it's been open every single time. You know, you think you're going to be able to walk away with a kill, but that time it's Cartman. Make the opposite side pay, but Sneaky makes Cartman pay for, I guess, peeking around the corner he thought was completely clear. Wall bangs to the back, going to be good. 30 seconds left here, 3 versus 3 on a retake. Never mind, just sprints out the doorway.
What?
I don't know why that was the play there, but GG go next. 25 seconds now. 3 players now for Team M3ntal, all swarming around and towards the site. Swash wins a big one-on-one, but they're both going to be pushing from the opposite side. Sniper going to be out. First one up to challenge. M3ntal finds the first. Second one over towards the right, but Swash is able to back all the way off, and now you just run.
The time. M3ntal's chasing for the kill. This is not enough time. Takes 7.5 seconds to defuse the bomb, and Swash on a 5 spree would have loved to be able to get the 6. M3ntal will have none of it, but it's Team Cartman to win 2 off the bounce. That is some really, really good decision-making coming all the way through. I mean, to your point there, Alex, like, again, they did not play with such a gusto in the previous round, so they just completely fly. They leave Stents behind the throws utility over by the opposite bomb site, and everybody just bull rushes there through restaurant. And to be fair, I mean, Swaj almost did get blooded. The trade you almost felt like would have been immediately found, but now Team Cartman just trailed by 1.
We'll see on the offensive side how Team M3ntal go ahead, opt to retaliate after they've lost 2 straight rounds. Bomb has made its way over towards L desk. Not onto the A site just yet. Never mind, forced to back off. 35 HP. We'll be able to find one with a nade, though. And if you're sneaky, that's a feels bad, man.
No dead silence for Versa. It's going to be a loud, lighter climb, and, yep, never mind. He was born yesterday. M3ntal, little 1v3. That silence is about to dissipate. And it just feels like that the potential to be able to close out this round is not looking too good. Here's your things have happened, though.
See what M3ntal can do for us. Never mind. Found out.
Wait, you
Top of the
that.
catwalk. I mean, after I challenged out the last round into the kitchen, I thought maybe for a second the Eagle might have been talking, but still only 20 seconds left. Bomb is all the way across on the other side of the map. Surely they found this one out. Stents got caught with his pants down, though, so now it makes it a 1 versus 2, but both of these players on Team Cartman so completely split across the map from one another at the moment, knowing M3ntal has to plant this at the same time. Could challenge out around the left side corner here, but you're never going to expect Nevermind to be playing in that corner. And while you're just trying to make a sturdy and steady play to try and get the bomb, or at least find one off guard to try and isolate a 1v1 at the end there. It's going to be the side of Team Cartman. We'll get this bad girl tied up. 3-3 we go. We've got a game on our hands now in the S&D.
3 rounds on the bounce. 4 to infinity. Same things. Swatch is 8-4 for crying out loud. Again, it's just the understanding to read and adapt. Fast, then yet slow. Team Cartman on their last offense, they fasted over towards B. Does Team M3ntal try to rectify that issue? And the answer is absolutely. They all swarm through the middle of the map. This time, Team Cartman trying to get Matt inside of bottom bedroom. He gets through unscathed. Swaj suppressing fire, keeping these players inside of couches at bay.
Semtex almost connects, but doesn't. Nevermind, tries to hop up and Sneaky wins. Gets gifted a kill as the M3ntal goes ahead in the opposite favor. 2 versus 3. Swaj and Stents last 2 alive. 1 in 5 here from Stents. Needs a big kill here. But as Swaj has carried the M3ntal so far in the search and destroy, he evens things out at a 2 versus 2. Tons of time left on the clock to work this over towards A. Or if they want to wrap over to B, they can.
Oh, they're playing with the clock. M3ntal, he's almost forced to check this. Stents playing with a sniper or is that an AR? It's really tough to see. But nonetheless, the bomb's starting to make its move over towards the restaurant side. Sneaky has read this, by the way. But he doesn't have that silence to try to press the issue a little bit further forward. But if he gets inside double arches a little closer to Chandelier, he might just find an unbeknownst Papa Stens the kill.
Come around the corner. He reads it. Isn't able to walk away with a gunfight win, and this is going to give everybody and more information where Swaj is going to be. You haven't seen anybody back by A. You're just trying to isolate the gunfight out by Wine, and the bad timing favors Sneaky. Is now Sneaky can just try to chase things down here with 5 seconds left. You have to stick the plant here. You can wait for your teammate. You try to bounce back. You try to dance around. I thought Swaj might have won the gunfight there on Sneaky for a moment, and that could have gave way for a 1 versus 1 gunfight win against M3ntal. However, Sneaky clutches up when it matters the most, gets the good timing, and they'll finally get themselves another round on the board. 4-3, the advantage goes back to Team M3ntal.
We'll see it here from Sneaky's POV, the last kill.
Oh my.
Yeah, dude, that headshot multiplier almost just took him down. I mean, you really did feel like that even if that first kill comes through, he would have had a insane, an absurd read onto where M3ntal was going to be coming from. Finally, Team M3ntal, able to at least break the round train. They will take the lead by 1. In the middle of the map, they are able to get the better of Team Cartman in their last offense. Not work out too kindly for them, and they're going to go back to what worked the last offensive round win for them. Here, Alex, they're just going to swarm over towards B. Cartman has a lot to do.
AR at long range, wasn't able to find anything out just yet. Knows that they're trying to go ahead and set something up over at B, though. So does relay the information to his teammate in Swash. Allow the kitchen to be held down by just a touch more reinforcement. Versus slowly starting to make his way forward. Doesn't want to get peeked off just yet, though. Doesn't want to get himself in a bad position. There's just not a lot of space being taken up on the map right now by Team M3ntal. They have no idea where Team Cartman's going to be playing from. They've used a lot of utility in terms of stuns and nades to try and back a few people off over by the restaurant. This only leaves them about 34 seconds to make a play.
Well, the SMG wallbang shots, team shots, is that going to be able to take down Pop Stens? And Cartman soon to follow. But the kills down low, Mr. Two-Piece of M3ntal shows up when it matters most, now down to 15 seconds.
They line up. 1v2. 10 seconds left here. Report alive. Instead of going for the bomb checks, he's just trying to go chase for a few kills. Has the dead silence pop. He's just trying to get some information, trying to get some good timing. Spots out one, has to go out for the challenge. Doesn't know where the second one is, and he just stays tucked away inside of the tunnel over by the garage. And Team Cartman, all thanks to Nevermind getting some great wall banging timing. Honestly, I don't even think it was wall banging. I think he killed him through his teammate because they lined up against one another. They're able to tie things up back at 4 apiece, and what I thought was going to be a team win and a round win for M3ntal, but now evens us at 4-4. Each team trying to get to match point.
Winner of this series makes it to the double elimination bracket. Swash is 10-6, dude. Moving its way up over by Jules. There's only one player here defensively. Again, I mean, Team M3ntal, they're trying to read off of what happened in the previous defense. They thought it was going to come over towards A. Never mind. Ripstead silence. He's going to peek through the middle of the map. Nobody to look at. Oh, hear a little something down low, though.
You just have no idea.
Timing on this.
So far pushed up in report. The head glitch on the van unfortunately makes Nevermind pay. And although he got great timing through the middle of the map, unfortunately, they had played so far back into their spawn, it didn't matter. Sneaky just lets Cartman run all the way through. So now you have information that another one's in your spawn side. You can have both of your teammates looking for this, and now you just play in the corner because you know nobody spotted you out. You're going to get free timing on this, and the trigger discipline is just oh so tasty. You get one, the second falls, and now Swash in a 1 versus 3 with 28 seconds left is going to grab on. He's going to try a tuck tail, get out of there.
Now, the problem is, though, he doesn't have that silence. So you're seeing the red arrow on the minimap that's right above Swash. Yeah, that's M3ntal, by the way, and he is hearing and communicating all of this. Versa. Thought he was going to shout there for a second. Swatch knows that somebody's back here, but just before he can try to get the gunfight over by D1, he gets collapsed through the middle of the map. And what was starting to set up to look pretty damn good for Team Cartman, all off of Nevermind's previous positioning. He gets out-timed over by bottom valet. Loses his life. And all crumbles like an old chocolate chip cookie. It's things you hate to see. But now M3ntal. Up on map point to take a 2-0 in this series. You need, and again, I exclaim, need the search and destroy if you are Team Cartman, if you want to try to win this bad boy.
I mean, if you're looking to go to a control, hoping to take down Team M3ntal, I just don't think that the communication and teamwork is going to be there, opposed to a team that's been playing Team Deathmatch and Halo for, I don't know, a year, couple months, whatever it might be. But Report will find the first blood here. Cartman need to bounce back here, but his Report finds a second. Sneaky finds a third. It's all falling apart and all crumbling to pieces. It's a flawless final round out of Team M3ntal. They'll take the search and destroy in map 2, 6-4, and have a 2-0 series lead going into a control, which now puts all the pressure, if it wasn't already on Team Cartman in the first place, even more so upon their shoulders.
Damn. I'm going to be a biased caster for a second. I really thought that they were going to do it there for a second.
I did too.
11-8 out of Swaj is typical nonetheless. 10 of his 11 kills were non-traded BTW. But again, it just comes down to, again, this M3ntal roster. You know, the adaptations, the understanding. It was a little bit of misreads. They were kind of misfiring as far as understanding what Team Cartman was actually bringing to the table, specifically for Team M3ntal's defensive side of things. But, I mean, it's just the collapses that's soon to follow. Once they do start to garner that information, they fully do understand where they need to go to next, playing off of one another. Got a little bit of a reprise of what we got there at the tail end of the Hotel Hardpoint, the praises that we were singing from this Team M3ntal roster. Their communication is just so sublime. And then once they end up having all the information, their gunshots, centering, or FPS words are just so good. This was the round that really started everything for Team Cartman, though. They won 3 immediately off the bounce, got themselves all even Stevensed up, and then we went into the Yo Tango, that is search and destroy, of who can adapt better than the other team. Team Cartman were coming out with a certain amount of fuego to at least keep it within one, but nonetheless, it just comes down to Team M3ntal slowing down the pace, trying to wait for Team Cartman to make a mistake, and boy howdy did they ever.
I think it was that passive round, right, where they wait in the kitchen, they just wait for Team M3ntal to come to them. That gave them the confidence to push the rest of the way forward, and then once you get that confidence in search and destroy, that's when that first gunfight becomes that much easier the next time through. If you're not winning those, you know, the opening gunfights, or you know, maybe you might be 0-2, 0-3. Once you get that first gunfight, it feels much better to take gunfights around the rest of the map. You feel more confident in your ability, and I feel like that's what happened with Team Cartman. Unfortunate, you know, the one stat line, of course, everybody's gonna, you know, kind of point and laugh at is the 1-9 out of Stents. It's okay. GGO next. But Swaj, kind of the hero of the day for this roster. 11-8. 10 non-traded kills, which is kind of tippy, but like, it's hard because you know one person can have a great game and it could be basically negated by somebody having a bad game or a poor game. And if everybody's not putting in at least like some sort of substantial effort, I guess effort's not even the right word, but if it's not a kind of congealed process with the entire team of everybody having at least some sort of consistency throughout a game, you're asking to lose pretty much 9 times out of 10.
You could hear the wires clicking in your brain to come up with the word congeal. That was
okay, man.
How about
okay,
the 2011
right,
out of
man.
2 different players coming through from Team M3ntal? Sorry. I'm just happy you made your bet today, brother. Like, I'll keep it a buck.
I'll go land it if you want me to.
Later. But
join me.
Nonetheless, this is a tough situation to find yourself in if you are Team Cartman. I mean, look, history has always proven that these 4 players, they do have the resolve. But going up against the outward slaying prowess that is this Team M3ntal roster on a map like LSD Control, you better hope your opening breaks look good, Team Cartman. Otherwise, it's got to be 3-0 and you won't make it tomorrow.
Alrighty, well, Control is going to be up next. LSD, Team M3ntal trying to put things away, put themselves into the bracket, and send Team Cartman packing before lunch. Hence is the team name of this incredibly talented and young squad-like roster. All right, okay, I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. It's been 3 matches. I'm deep, and now we're gonna send things to a break. When we come back, map 3 in this best of 5 series. See you then. Hello. Welcome back Team Cartman, Team Mental, 2-0 game now where Team Cartman is on the back burner of unfortunate, I guess, circumstances in the search and destroy, but that first hard point really was just all Team Mental from, I guess, basically start to finish. Team Cartman had a few, again, flashes in the pan, but it wasn't too much that there was to write home about at the end of that one show. We go into an LSCLO control here for map 3. Things are high stakes, as we said at the beginning of this match. This is the move out of pools and into the bracket. So if you want to make it to obviously winners round 1, or even have a chance through any of the bracket here today for what is a $1,000 College COD Alumni Open, well, yeah, you better kick it in a high gear, Team Cartman. Come on, guys. And a biased caster, yes, I want them to at least win a map. I want them to try and go to bracket play because I want to see the boys succeed. Now, is it to say that I don't want to see Team Mental succeed? Absolutely not. But I want to see Team Cartman put up a fight. And a fight they did in the search and destroy. Unfortunately, those last 2 rounds just didn't go their ways. And the adjustments that Team Mental made were too much for them to overcome. So going into a respawn here. A control, Andy. What are you feeling for this Team Cartman roster here in their chances to bring it back?
I just feel like Nevermind is him. I mean, shout out Nevermind, right? I mean, the guy can obviously put up numbers as far as a respawn, can't help his friends out with the controller, but nonetheless, here we find ourselves in an LSCLO control where it does pander at least to an AR's playground, right? You know, typically and historically throughout the entirety of the Modern Warfare 2 year, a lot of teams did start off with a 2-2 split, but a lot more teams have somehow found a lot more comfortability on playing this map with 3 ARs. I honestly think that that could play in the favor of Team Cartman, but then you also have to look, not necessarily saying that there is a massive skill gap, but it has at least been showcased so far in this series through 2 maps that one team is heavily outslaying the other one. I feel like I'm a broken record because that's kind of like where we've been as far as all 3 series are concerned. We have Team A outslaying Team B, and Team A this time around is Team Mental. So again, if you are Team Cartman, you do have to kind of go back to those 4 rounds that they were able to win in the search and destroy when they were looking very strong in that hardpoint map number 1 on Brienberg Hotel. That they have to try to outsmart their opponents and try to catch them off guard with some ratty positions and try to catch them off guard with these crossfires. It needs to be there if you want to at least try to extend this to a map number 4 and potentially map 5.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the other tale of this series, besides the slaying aspect and just rather the outslaying performance for Team Mental, has been the overall pacing. I think Team Cartman wants to kind of slow the pace down a bit and allow them to play to their strengths. I think Team Mental, though, on the opposite end, are trying to force the issue just a touch more. And I think that allows them to feel comfortable. And when Team Cartman are kind of getting the pressure put on them, especially in respawns, I think it kind of puts them into a situation where I don't want to say it's discombobulating, but it definitely is a hindrance to them because they're either their communications or their split-second decision-making just isn't as quick as Team Mental is trying to push the issue. And when you go into an map like LSCLO, I think that only goes to hurt Team Cartman because this map is going to allow you to play ratty. It's going to allow you to get behind the opposition. So if you already are willing to play a bit more passive and you can't push the issue as well as your opponent can, and they get into your spawn trap and then they start setting up behind you while you're trying to push out towards the field side, especially over on B, you're looking at a lose-lose situation, and it's probably going to be GG before you can really even say, I don't know, what's a fun word? I don't know.
Banana.
Papa stents, I don't know.
That's just a really good name, honestly. But I like at the end of the day, like, I know I brought this up both times that we played Control, and they were both on Hotel through our matches 1 and then a 40-minute break and then match number 2. But look, when it comes down to it, and for LSCLO Control, it does kind of accentuate what Control is as far as the game mode. It's so break-off dependent, but it goes even further than that as well. Is that, like, say you go like 3 for 1, or even if you go for like a big old trade galore, what do you do once you do end up finding 4 dead defensively? You got to get somebody inside that White House. You got to get somebody over by the radio tower and just try to keep these players trapped, because spawn kills on a map like LSCLO Control honestly could be the difference maker in depending whether or not the offensive team does have a sufficient amount of numbers to try to assault one of these 2 zones. It's all speculation. Again, I don't know why I'm trying to put too many eggs inside the fundamental basket. It's a CCL alumni tournament, for crying out loud. Let's just get into this bad boy.
Yeah, no, I agree. But look, at the end of the day, we still have to give sound analysis. And see what's going wrong and what can go better for these teams. But again, it is just an alumni tournament, and you know, when you're trying to break down eights with people who really don't play together, I mean, M3ntal, sure, they play together, but not in God. It does get a little interesting. But it looks like we have the Lockman pulled out from Papa Stents, trying things maybe a bit differently here, and at least it helps him get on the board early on. The first kill and first blood of this control. So 1 life off the board for M3ntal, but they've already gotten themselves on towards A. First tick of progress going to be good. We get back just a touch, and now as we hop over towards the B side of things, you can see Versa by his lonesome also on that zone as Papa Stents pops the double.
Papa Stents coming in crazy with the Lockman sub. 3-1 start. I mean, he probably saw that slow-mo match versus Fiasco, and he was just like, that looks pretty darn good. I'm gonna give it a whirl. First segment of progression will end up being locked up here as far as B control is concerned. Cartman trying to keep M3ntal at least tagged up, shoots his toes. Swaj looks left, but cannot turn right in time to cross the street comfortably. So M3ntal will take him down. The B push, very much so, might still be on the cards. First segment also locked over by A. Clock being stalled at 54.
Cartman, good kill. Versa there as well. Tries to snap him on a sneaky. Will be able to walk away with a gunfight win. Headshot multiplier go brazy. And Stents is able to find Versa. That's everybody now back to the respawn block. No ticks of progress. Or rather, no second tick of progress on the B zone, I should say. It's M3ntal now looking to get back over on this A zone. You're gonna see Cartman though. There with a double stack. Never mind. Swaj both finding 2. Cartman another 3 immediate kills off the respawn block and a 4th one now. That's 2 full squad wipes of this M3ntal roster they've been able to put together here. And with 30 seconds left, it's all going to come down to if M3ntal can push out of their spawn side.
All the patience out of Stents. He has just been lurking bottom billiards since yesterday. He finally pops up. M3ntal will take him down. That should be the stack around the A zone. I mean, Cartman's team did have at least forward positioning around the A control zone, but nobody got inside the top tower. The reason being is because Cartman was tasked to try to defend the B control zone in case any lurking players from the team in reds try to push on over there. And that'll be 60 seconds added on towards the board, or towards the board? Board? Sure. Just try to combine bar and board, and it kind of worked out. Team Cartman, though, still have a 3-life lead.
I'm gonna say let's down to Borg. Go crazy. Have a good weekend. that'd be a great way to end the cast off.
For real.
M3ntal drop down 3 in a row now. Out over towards B with 55 seconds left. The live separate now. Just 2. Now down to 1. Hipfire shots from Sneaky are good, and that's going to be everybody to the deep left side of your mini-map for Team Cartman on the defensive end. Second tick of progress starting to make its way forward. Double stack on the point. A third one should be here in just a moment as the second tick of progress is now in. Cartman's going to be top party, looking above, but M3ntal could be able to at least upset the party for a moment as he gets in. I promise I didn't mean to say party twice there, but it just kind of happened. Team M3ntal, first round on the board, 1-0 up in the control.
CCL alumni party, and hey, that's exactly what you don't like to see happen, especially when it comes down to Team Cartman. I mean, they wanted to go all in and try to hold on over towards the B control zone. That's why we always say you're in control. It doesn't matter the title, as long as you're playing the game mode, 1 good hit, and well, you're spawning in Bufu at that point. And Team Cartman, we're not going to be able to get there in time, especially with M3ntal coming down up top, up on a 5 spree, 8-3 for M3ntal. Sneaky, he is also up on a 3 spree at 7-3. The opening break-off look like here for Team Cartman. Immediate focus through billiards. That's a great stun. It's going to slow up the pace ever so slightly, and it just means a forward approach will soon come through here inside of time.
Stents wants M3ntal. Unfortunately, though, does have 57 HP as he tries to back off, turn tail, tuck away. There's going to be Team M3ntal that is able to chuck him down over out towards B, and now they have a spawn trap set up. You can see everybody positioning themselves in an advantageous position. Where now, if you try to push out, every single angle is covered off. However, though, Sneaky needs to be careful by himself over on the point. Still has player 6 and Swash on the chase down. As Swash is able to win the gunfight off screen. Buzzword for the observers. M3ntal gonna make his way forward. Who's on 6 in a row.
I actually threatened Benji yesterday. We were all hanging out in the hub, and they'll tell me, I was like, oh, you're observing? Oh, I'm just gonna say that happened off screen so many times, but it was you. You did the thing, man. 6 spree for M3ntal. Make that number 7. We're down to 27 seconds. Team Cartman are trailing by 5 lives. They're coming up almost with nothing. I mean, you got players around tools. Need to be able to find at least this trade. Swatch gets M3ntal down to 28 HP. He's trying to chase the kill. Cartman will get that elimination. You have to stay alive on both of these 2 zones to try to solve the clock. much less try to get 60 seconds added onto your clock.
Swash still on B. Sneaky trying to peek his way out on towards the site. 6 lives of separation. Cartman, Stents, also there, and never mind on the back end. Sneaky loses aim assist to the bars. Where to Rooney? Oh no! Versa making his way forward. Last stick of progress trying to make its way in.
Or through the fence. Yeah, it's awkward. Forces out the TK to come through from Nevermind. Stents there to at least take down M3ntal. 60 seconds added on towards the board. Still trailing by 6 lives. And the question remains, how does Team Cartman try to convert this over towards the A control zone? Second question, how many strays are their COD players going to catch today?
Well, if I'm on the broadcast, at least 6.
Yeah, wait.
At least 6.
At least 5 more.
Sneaky on the radio tower. Looking around, Nevermind, pretty much the only one pushed up onto the opposite end by that B zone, and then Sneaky's able to find Papa Stents as he pushes up. Cartman's going to be the second one up to challenge. It's a horrible challenge there, but one that you have to make to try and at least get some map presence for yourselves. 4 in a row now for Sneaky. 38 seconds left in the round. Basically 2 full hits from Team Cartman over towards this A zone before they're going to have to call it quits. And as Swash falls, it's just going to take even more time off the board while they try to set something up. It's a very long hit around the back end. They don't realize that they have a few people here waiting.
Versus in a great position. Top Kitchen's going to get a freebie there, at least onto Stents. Nevermind down low. Versa struggling to jump over the railings here. Finally is able to do it. At least had some assistance up top inside of the tower. Versa biting off more you could shoot. Nevermind's there for the trade. Second segment's been locked, but you only have one more respawn.
Gotta be careful though, because look how far deep the M3ntal spawns are and the opposite side spawn. Now, if you look for a report, you've got to get this first kill out of the hill. You have to go ahead and wallbang. You have to contest in here for just a moment, and you finally do. You're able to walk away with one. Sneaky there, Versa there as well, and as Swash falls, that should be the final domino as Cartman, the only one alive on the opposite side of the map, is going to have 12 seconds to make a desperate push back over towards A. And as close as that one got, and it's kind of scary as it got there for a moment, Team M3ntal take their second round.
Yeah, again, yeah, I mean, when push comes to shove, Team Cartman absolutely deliver on the goods. They were able to capture one of the 2 more difficult zones here on LSU control, that being the B control zone. But, I mean, shout out for Team M3ntal. Again, even losing a lot of lives around top and bottom kitchen, they always ended up trying to rotate players around top tower. As we were talking about, when that second segment does get locked over by the contest spot bottom lockers, one player did have to contest it, but the collapse, the team shots, the chemistry, it's all there. Sneaky is up to 15-6 for crying out loud. Now Team M3ntal not only with a 2-0 lead as far as map count is concerned, also in the control, looking for the sweep.
Oh, hip fire could have been nice there. But down, and Stents will go ahead and find one with a knife. Sneaky jumps directly in towards top kitchen. Going to be able to find shots on the one. Thought Swash was the next victim on his list. But it's all for naught, at least for now. B zone starting to get captured here. 2 players on the stack. One could get a bit aggressive here in just a moment. This M3ntal's up in towards top party, looking for Cartman. Will be able to cut him down. 27-27 of the lives. But a Sneaky finds another. Stents trying to go on a knife party yet again. Team kill going to come through, and what could have been a double stack now just going to turn into a single. Still going to be Swans close, as report's going to be there, immediately followed up by Sneaky. But this is going to at least stall things out for a moment, and what could have been an even more aggressive and quicker hit on B that could have translated over towards A, and take a bit more time than they might have liked to get that B zone captured.
M3ntal's dead silence reset off that previous kill. He's now up to 4 in a row. He's communicating that there's players just jumping around the kitchen window. Dead silence gets reset once again, finds an AR off the ground. John wicks it into his hands. Now he knows that there's a player over by the B control zone. It's being depleted. Cartman for the challenge. M3ntal will have none of it. 6 kills in a row. Chow's out wide for the 7th. Are you kidding me? Now has number 8 knocking at the door. Stenson from behind will find that trade. B zone still has yet to been locked.
And this feels like a very similar situation to that control on Hotel earlier, where the B zone just multiple times was just a hair-inch fracture away from being captured. This one, though, going to be bounced back between the A and the B zones, respectively. Now just the 3-life advantage, I guess. I mean, I was more taken aback at the fact that we've had 3 team kills from Team M3ntal this round, which have both stalled out pushes on the A and the B zones, respectively. With 50 seconds left, still 60 seconds of time to be earned, whether it's on A or B. You've got to capture one of the zones, and it looks like they're going to be on both.
Double-edged attack. They're looking to at least keep A zone in their favor. They're spotting parallel to it. There's only one player over by the B control zone, and that's going to be M3ntal. I mean, Cartman's in a position realistically to maybe try to challenge this, if not try to contest it. He will get on just in enough time. That causes Nevermind to be able to find some timing. He's got 2 weapons to do it. The B zone still yet to get locked.
Still have a player lurking over at A, though. Going to be a report on top radio tower. Now as Nevermind's able to find one. You hope that the spawn side gets cleared out. If you're sneaky, you're lucky to walk away with that one. As report finds a second. Now over towards the A zone. 30 seconds left. 12-8. 4 lives of separation. 2 team hits on the defensive side for Team Cartman. And only 1 tick of progress now stopping the offensive team from being able to take the control.
And they're going to try to rewrap this all the way around from behind. Stents down low. Gets the opening shots. Almost loses his life because of it. But takes down Versa. There's still players to be worried about around the flank. Stents. The damage bottom lockers goes for the challenge wide. One more player over by the side door. Its report goes for the challenge. I cannot blame him. But now that opens up the flank. Cartman on the opposite side needs to find something. The Sun will find out that Cartman is lurking over by the shack. M3ntal calls in the streak, tries to bend it like Beckham inside of the door for a house. Cannot find it, but it's information that Nevermind, in fact, is lurking inside of the house.
6 versus 5. 50 seconds left in the round. Nobody pushed onto the B zone just yet, but you have a big gunfight coming up here in just a moment. Versa going to be able to find Swash from behind. 3 lives now remaining for Team Cartman. Can still hold on here on the defensive end, but need to take this round if they want any chance of advancing into the bracket stage of this alumni tournament. Stents with 1. Sneaky. Second gunfight won by Cartman. Now much more doable. 4 versus 3. Reinforcements coming in now a 4v2.
Stents, that silence. He's getting exhausted just sitting inside of tools. He's going to have to trust that Cartman's going to watch around the back. The timing on a Versa up top's not going to be good. Now it's all up to Stents. 1v4.
1v4 for Papa Stents. Keep their tournament alive. Nade well placed. Jump challenge down from top base. C will get it done. Team M3ntal. A 3-0 sweep on Elasilo will 3-0 sweep the series as well. A beautiful best of 5 series will advance them out of their Group D and into the bracket for the final team that will be in our 8-team double elimination tourney.
I mean, you Yar. Maybe go on a massive serious point. This man just came out like a pirate. Like what is happening here? You really got to think, though. I mean, look, if Papa Stents loads in with the Lockman sub, he probably goes double positive through the entirety of the series. I mean, what a turnaround, a turn of events. But, I mean, hey, nonetheless, it is what it is. I love to be able to see those guys come back together and really show what they got. Nevermind, with all 7 of his controllers on his desk, was able to at least make a solid argument for it. But, I mean, it just simply was not enough to come out on top of the series win. It will be M3ntal's team there to be able to advance inside the bracket. They will be joining the likes of 7 other teams that had to go through their respective groups as well. And now we slate ourselves up for a final bracket.
Take a look one more time back through the highlights of this 3-0 sweep on Elasilo. And look, now that we've gotten ourselves to a point where this series has come to a close, I can finally say my due goodbyes to Team Cartman in this lovely roster of extremely handsome and talented gentlemen. But at the same time, you have to give your flowers to Team M3ntal. Every single map, they were just one step ahead of Team Cartman. Whether that was in the slaying aspect, the teamwork aspect, it just seemed like, whether it was round after round in the search and destroy or rotation after rotation in the respawns, it was always just the ability to keep at least 1 or 2 people going and hot at every single moment. Which kind of never allowed Team Cartman to close the gap onto Team M3ntal. Sure, the control got close at a few points, down to the wire a few times. A few of those individual rounds when it came to talking about the kill differences and the life advantage. But once again, even when it got down to that standpoint, it was always the same team that came out on top of almost every situation when it got to the clutch. Team M3ntal, unfortunately to say, was the better team by far and away in every single mode throughout this best of 5.
Shout out Sneaky, man. I mean, he was a consistent force here on Elasilo, map number 3, 23 and 13, about 3k damage, led the lobby in a handful of stats, went on a crazy 5-spree M3ntal also for that 7 that really opened up the floodgates over by the B control zone, albeit they didn't capture it off of it. It was the bait plate to try to get themselves over towards that A control zone where report off of I want to say 30 seconds was just chilling up towards the top radio tower. And it was just the manipulation of the map again, the continuation of the story that we got from that Greenberg Hotel map number 1, albeit Team Cartman were able to at least hold the lead. The consistency for Team Mental, not only to be able to find those slays, but also to be able to manipulate the map, get sneaky and mental into these very annoying and egregious positions, just always caught Team Cartman by surprise.
Well, they absolutely did. We'll take a look at our overall series real quick before we go ahead and get ready for the bracket stage of our broadcast here today. Map 1 played pretty close towards the tail end of it, but for the most of it, it was not too close. Team Mental 250-183. Search and Destroy. Once again, Team Cartman were able to overcome a deficit early on in the game, but a 6-4 deficit unfortunately was not enough for them to be able to get over the hurdle in Map 2. And then a Control and Elisilo that we just saw finish out. 3 loss there, which ends in a 3-0 sweep for Team Mental. They'll move on to the bracket where they will join again 7 other teams who have now found themselves moving on. So 8 teams remain here in our College COD Alumni Open. $1,000 on the line, a prize pool split between the top 3 teams. And as we take a look at what our bracket will consist of, I have a feeling there's going to be one team in particular that runs this thing all the way to the grand final slot in the winner's bracket. And why is it Team Noisy?
No, dude. Team Stevo's got this for sure.
Actually, you know what? I think it's going to be Team Priestley versus Team Noisy in the winners finals. Am I blasting for that take?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
Just making sure.
I don't know what else you really want from me. I mean, like Team Diff might be able to make an argument for it, but like I honestly don't even know at this point, bro. Like it's pretty much just like a who's gonna be able to go up against Team Noisy, and are you gonna make it a respectable scoreline?
Pretty much, yeah. They have been cork slamming their opponents pretty much throughout the entirety of today. The group that they came out of, I don't think they lost or won a hard point where the other team scored more than 50 or 60 points. So if that tells you anything about what this bracket could potentially look like, yeah, it could be a slaughterhouse. That being said, after a short break, we're going to come back. We're going to get you another best of 5 series. Not exactly sure what match we will be having just yet on broadcast, so it'll be a surprise to us and a surprise to you guys as well. Stick around. We'll be back here for the College COD Alumni 1K just a bit.